Alright, welcome to the first episode of Jaggers Brewing Co. Beyond the Mash Tun. This is episode 1, and basically it started off with me walking down the beer aisle, and I saw the first beer that launched my my endeavors and stuff, my hobby, my passion into homebrewing, and that's Bock, the prickly pear. This is going to be the 2023 version. So for anybody that is new to me and my content, my name is Matt. I have a YouTube channel, Jaggers Brewing Co. I'm on Instagram. All those links, anything that I talk about will be in the descriptions, so please don't be afraid to check that out. So anyways, the format of this is just basically a podcast. I'm diving into things like my videos that I feel like deserve a little deeper dive. Maybe it's been a long time. I'd like to just kind of revisit them without going through all the brew footage and all that. Just to kind of sit around, talk about it, drink a beer, hang out with my friends. We'll be drinking things like commercial beers. Maybe we'll sip on some of the other beers that I've made and it's been a while, or different versions of the beers that I don't really feel like make good content, or just don't really have a good place on the main channel or anything like that. So thanks again for coming, checking this out and everything. So let's pour this beer and let's kind of talk about the beginnings of Jaggers Brewing Co. and where I got started in my journey to homebrewing. Again, this is the Bock 2023 version, edition, whatever you want to call it there. For those that are following along on the camera side of things and can view this, you'll be able to see this beautiful beer. Nice, clean, clear, crisp looking beer. And it is straw golden area. You can see right through it. I can see myself looking through the camera here. So that's pretty exciting. Decent head. Looks like a good amount of carbonation. I've brewed with prickly pear before. We'll get into all that here in just a moment. But how I got started. So this beer, after having had it for maybe 2 consecutive years, I said, how is this beer made? And this beer is wonderful, by the way. So how is it made? I dove off into a lot of research. I found my probably same places that most people find their areas into homebrewing, by looking at things on YouTube, homebrew forums, and just kind of Facebook groups, just everywhere, Reddit, all the places, all the things, right? So dove deep and deep and deep and deep. And this was 2016, 2017, somewhere right around there. And I started brewing. And I hadn't looked back since then. It's been a lot of fun. I started off on the Northern Brewer extract kits. I probably brewed maybe every other month, every third month, something like that. So I'd order a few of these kits from time to time. In the meantime, I had stumbled across a local homebrew store, the closest one to me. It was like freaking, I don't know, 50, 60 miles, something like that. So it took a while to, get there, get back, and all that. So I would, kind of buy some extra supplies, maybe an extra kit and stuff. So after about a year of homebrewing like that, with those kits and things like that, I started altering them, adding fruits, different yeast, maybe changing up small things, right? Or making an additional hop addition, or whatever the case may be. So prickly pear was probably one of the first fruits that I ever added to a beer. A lot like this one here. So I'm not entirely sure exactly what they used for their base beer. I'd imagine it's probably some kind of blonde ale. With that, I've never really have dove off into the recipe. I've seen some articles about how they handle fruit when they brew with fruit, and so I've tried to incorporate that. I normally, when I've brewed with prickly pears, I've thrown it into Hefeweizens, and I've done a blonde like that. So I've got like 50 pounds of prickly pear right now that I need to process, find a beer for that to go in. So I'm thinking I'm going to try some different techniques with that. Probably like I saw somebody was doing like a freeze juicing kind of, essentially like a freeze distillation or concentration of the juices from the fruits, and then adding it into the beer that way. The last time that I used it, dealing with the fruit itself, it's pretty hard. But the last time that I used it, if you go back and you actually watch the first video for the channel, it's a bunch of Berliner that I did, and so I did a prickly pear Berliner. I thought maybe that like the lacto and the fruit would blend well together. I feel like I lost a lot of the fruits flavor there in that beer, because when I processed it, I ended up like having a couple different charges essentially of the prickly pear, because I was trying to bring it all the way around into the beer, like into the boil, into the secondary fermentation and all that. And so it was a lot of work, and I ended up like cooking down the juice to kind of help remove some of the water of it. And I think that I lost a lot of those flavor profiles that prickly pear has to offer. Prickly pear is one of those fruits. It's a little hard to describe. It's I like to say it's kind of like a watermelon almost, strawberry type watermelon if you eat them fresh. With this beer here, I think you're picking up a little bit more on, like, say, the earthiness side that fruit has to offer. This year, it's pretty much the same that it's ever been, at least to my recollection. I normally buy a few of these 6-packs just to kind of hold on to during the summer. But anyways, so kind of getting back to the start of the channel and the start of my homebrewing. So after, like I said, about a year or so, that's about the time that I started playing around with the fruits and beers, prickly pear being one of them. And I had found that local homebrew store. It was kind of far away, so then another one opened up pretty close to me. I went there pretty frequently, and that original homebrew store that I found, they ended up closing down. So basically the guys that were closest to me, that were getting all my business anyways, stayed getting my business at that point. Sadly, they're no longer with us, open for business. Hop and Grape, you know, that was a great store to go and visit, talk to Keith and Mindy. There was a lot of knowledge between them, their staff, and just anybody that walked in there. Had a lot of fond memories of that. I still see them from time to time. But they were on my case there for a long time to join my local homebrew club, the Area Mashtronauts. And so reluctantly I did it. I showed up to a meeting that actually happened to be at the homebrew store, which was totally cool to me at that time. That was pretty awesome. So I became a member of the homebrew club, and I just started gaining more knowledge, more inspiration from everybody. And so I ended up getting pushed into starting the YouTube channel by my wife. She said, look, you've got a clear passion and devotion to this. You like talking about it, and you like sharing everything that you do. And you know, I think it'd be really fun for you to maybe try it out. So we made that first video. That was kind of stressful. We didn't know what we were doing. I had a lot of fun looking back on it now, seeing how great it was, edited and the music, and it was fun to shoot. It was a voiceover with a bunch of B-roll added into it, so there was a lot of editing. So we definitely learned some things like straight out of the gate with that. Excuse me, belched. But so we definitely learned a lot of stuff with that, and it was a lot of fun. And I think we've been able to kind of incorporate and keep growing as far as the things like editing and whatnot for it. So now fast forward a few more years, and Master Homebrew program comes out, and I'm a proud member of it. I'm currently on the board for Master Homebrew program. That's a lot of fun to be around a lot of knowledgeable people that are competitive. I've kind of caught that competitive bug. That's kind of what started me, basically jumping on the Master Homebrew program as an individual and continuing going down the path of that. So if you don't know about Master Homebrew program, again, all the links, everything that I talk about that sounds interesting will be in the description. But Master Homebrew program is essentially like scouts for homebrewers. We have these specialty badges and whatnot, and the main goal is to recognize excellence in homebrewing. So if you compete some of the time, it's worth it to do it. It gets you kind of brewing some stuff that's outside of your norm, and really kind of get going into that. But so now that Hop and Grape was gone after they left, I found myself without a local homebrew store for about 6 months. I again found myself traveling 60-70 miles or so for fresh ingredients at a homebrew store. And luckily now I've got Sitta Brew Hub. They've opened up, and they have definitely not only picked up that torch and ran with it, they're doing a phenomenal job. So to those people that have like local homebrew stores, please do your best to go out and support those people. They are the lifeblood of this hobby, and they really need your support. Your $100 spent with them means a lot more than any online retailer, in my opinion. I've had nothing but bad luck with a lot of the online retailers, shipping things late or whatever. But that's a whole different subject for a different time. So the Jaggers Brewing Co., the YouTube channel, all the things that I do under that banner, I'm just trying to give back, right, to the community, some of the stuff that I've taken away from it, just to be another data point on some stuff, maybe even do some different things, continue some of those ideas and techniques that aren't traditional, and just kind of put my own spin on some stuff and share it with everybody that seems halfway interested anyways. So we're just here having fun, brewing up a storm. I've been entering some competitions lately and having fun with that, seeing some scores go up, playing around with some techniques, and really just kind of finding that groove. I think this year I have definitely been able to zone in on making more quality homebrew. This stuff is probably some of the best stuff I've ever made, and I've really gone outside my comfort zone. I've brewed like 2 lagers this year, which I would have never thought that I would have been interested in, for multiple reasons. But it's about getting outside those comfort zones and trying different things, right? Variety is the spice of life. So as you can see here, the backdrop is actually something that you guys have probably never seen unless you follow me on Instagram. You might have seen some shots of it here or there, But this is an old workbench that I used to use for projects and stuff like that. This is kind of in the hobby room. It's crowded and whatnot. So if this thing gains any ground, we get some fans off of it. You guys seen some more interest, maybe we'll kind of do some redressing along the wall here, clean up some of the glasses and all that, and really kind of make this thing shine. As you can see, I've got a little Shiner Bock plaque back there. So I've been a Shiner fan for quite a while as far as commercial beers go. But so I guess that's about it. The start of Jaggers Brewing Co. I've talked about pretty much everything that there is to know as far as that goes. Unless you guys got any questions, send them my way, either by email for future content, or put them in the comments, and we'll gather those up and answer those right then and there. Maybe do a recap again. One thing to note, though, that the first video that you guys saw for Jaggers Brewing Co. was not the first video that we ever shot. The first video that we shot was going to be for my Father's Day Stout. And it was going to be the first version, the first time that I used Quake on it. And so that was kind of fun and interesting to do. Traditionally with that beer, the kids normally will help me brew that beer, be it they'll help me grind or mill some grains, or they'll add some stuff into the mash tun for me, like the grains or the water salts. Maybe they'll do a hop addition or something like that. Normally I don't let them touch the hot wort or anything like that, or do any of the chilling part of it, just because the dangers of burning and all that. But we always normally have fun. It always seems to rain on us whenever we're trying to brew that thing. So I guess one thing that I guess I didn't talk about was the transition from extract into all grain. So with extract and partial mashing and all that going on, I had kind of dug deep and started looking into lots of things for all grain brewing. And so my first setup was one of those turkey fryer crawfish combination deals from like Walmart or Academy or wherever, just one of those simple propane burners. And so I brewed on one of those for quite a while until the gas regulator went out, and I went and bought a replacement. It didn't quite work, so I kind of did some modifying to that and got it to work and light off. But in the meantime, I had gone ahead and bought one of the Blickman Hellfire burners, and that thing is pretty awesome. I'm happy that I did that, and I haven't looked back on that. And then we upgraded to the Anvil kettle and some improvements on that. So maybe that'll be a fun episode to kind of go over some of the setups and how we've grown and changed to make some of the better beers that we've been making. Equipment's not everything, for sure. The skill level and some alternative techniques and things like that, right, will help you out. But sometimes the new piece of equipment will help make something easier for you to handle, or just make even the wait time for coming up to mash temp or boiling will help make things more enjoyable. And that's what it's all about, is enjoying this hobby and having a great time. The other part of it for me is of course sharing all that knowledge and everything. So without further ado, thank you guys so much for coming and checking out this first pilot episode of Beyond the Mash Tun. And I really can't wait for the next episode. I've got a couple ideas of what to do, but if you can think of anything, let me know. Till next time, cheers, y'all.